Sacha Llorenti, Secretary General of ALBA-TCP. First, I want to congratulate the former Minister of Tourism and today Foreign Ministry, Felix Plasencia. All the Ministry of Tourism of ALBA, we are convinced that you have the support not only to the Ministry of Tourism of Venezuela, but all the ministries of tourism of the member countries of ALBA-TCP. Thank you very much for your work that put us in a favorable position thanks to your effort. Minister of Culture and Tourism, I'm grateful to extend the invitation to share these moments in a very difficult time for our nations and to interchange ideas to foster tourism. In the current scenario, all our countries have had to face the COVID-19 with incidents in all the activities of our societies, but especially the touristic activity that is one of the main economic sources of our countries. So we should add the problems of the natural disasters as a consequence of the climate change. Cuba has had to face the strengthening of the economic blockade. I'm sorry to say this. And the action of the government of the United States against our country. But this economic and financial blockade imposed by the government of the United States and the current administration keeps intact is intense to kill the international tourism in my country. The current crisis of the international tourism in the world is in the second year, according to data from the Tourism World Organization. There was a drop of 85% in the tourism sector in 2019, so registering 147 million less tourism, with 460,000 less. So the new strains of COVID-19 and the restrictions to travel have not allowed to initiate or to reinitiate the international tourism in the world. So during this period, the workers of the touristical sector, they changed their mission and they started to work in the hospitals and go into difficult places like the intensive care units. With the arrival of 2021, that we had the hope of being in a better circumstance. We have turned our touristical sector facilities into hospitals to face COVID, and the touristic sectors workers are there working. There are more than 120 hotels working as hospitals, as isolation centers, even to doctors who are working in the different provinces, and too many travelers who are infected with COVID-19. So despite this scenario, we are certain that tourism will recover. It is urgent to defeat the pandemic, to control the disease, and to guarantee security for our clients. It is a responsibility that we cannot avoid. Therefore, everything that we have said today here, and I am sure by documents we have received that it is the objective of this meeting. It is urgent to interchange experiences. To give a boost to the sector, so we reaffirm and we are conscious of the importance to adopt international protocols to reinitiate tourism in a safe way, reoriented to a new reality for a responsible sector. But we are also convinced that to guarantee an international activity of tourism with quality, we should have we shouldn't have many restrictions at the time the traveler arrives, so it is important to control the pandemic, to reestablish the trust. So we have to foster the vaccination campaigns in the rest of the world and to work in the communication for the restrictions of travel, restrictions which constantly change. Ministers, Cuba offers the positive experiences in the management of the COVID-19 pandemic in tourism and to implement health protocols. So we've kept since September the 4th, 2020, a touristic operation, an international touristic operation in Cayo Coco and Varadero, and we are prepared for a winter similar to what we did before the pandemic. So we have to say that the pandemic in Cuba has affected us very strong, that during 2021 we have not received or we have not done national tourism in 2019. In 2020, despite the pandemic, we did somehow we had national tourism, but 2021 has not allowed us to do any kind of national tourism. So we can work by designing touristical strategies based on the experience of other projects by other member states to include the formation, the interchange, security in tourism, the promotion, and commercialization to develop multi-destiny among our countries. But I think what Venezuela has said, so we have to make it a reality. So what we do in these last years, so we have to achieve that tourism agencies to find the path, to find a way of how to establish, of how to make new contracts to promote the mentioned countries by Felix. These are countries that can be essential markets for our destinies in America. Today, they do not participate too much as markets. China, for example, it is a potential market, so we have to work together to conquer China, Turkey, Russia, that somehow has a participation, and the other countries mentioned by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We can also carry out several events in our countries. So always taking into account the new normality imposed by the health situation. As member of ALBA-TCP, Cuba reaffirms its commitment to work together to reactivate this sector through actions for the benefit of our peoples. Thank you very much. The traditional support to stop the blockade of the United States against Cuba and The shows of rejection Cuba is working for the cooperation and for the benefit of our people. So without any doubt, these difficult times should motivate us to continue working together with more cooperation. You can count on Cuba. The reality we face requires solidarity. We'll be victorious.